class. All right, so today we are going to be learning about adding fractions that have common denominators. So if you look it up here, we have units. Instead of writing it out as a fraction form of like 4/5, meaning 4/5, we're using a unit form here. So it's kind of like if I had 4 apples plus 2 apples, how many apples would I have? I would have 6 apples, right? So it's kind of the same thing. We're just talking about a unit. Instead of writing it out with fifths like this, and this would be like 2/5, we're using the unit form. So you're just going to add those and use it using the word fifths. So 4 plus 2 is 6/5. So you're going to actually write out that word fifths. Same thing with here. 5/8 plus 2/8 is 5 plus 2 is 7/8. Okay, so if you see a unit form on your assignment, then that's kind of how you're going to do it. All right, now moving down to adding, we have like denominators. We know we can add these together because our denominators are the same. That means our pieces are the same size. And here's a kind of a little visual drawing of it. Now, in your assignment, you don't necessarily have to draw the assignment or the picture on this assignment, but I want you to kind of be thinking like what this actually is looking like. So, if I'm adding it together, my denominators are going to be the same. You're not going to add those together. That's just telling you how many it takes to make a whole, right? And now you're going to add the top numbers together. So 3 plus 3 is 6/4. Okay, now looking at this 6/4 number, we're not going to leave this in an improper fraction. We know it's improper because our numerator is greater than our denominator. So I've drawn the picture to kind of help you see this and how you can kind of visualize it. Now, one way to do it is to pull it out in a number bond. So let me show you a number bond right here. We'd take our number bond and we'd have to pull out a whole out of our number bond. What would that be? Well, our denominator is 4, so we know that it takes 4 pieces to make a whole. So 4/4 would be our whole. And what would we have left? Well, we have 4. What could we bond with 6? 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 of those 4th pieces left over that we could bond. So we could write this as 1 whole, because here's our 1 whole, and 2/4. So another way of writing 6/4 is, or we could say it as 1 and 2/4. Okay, we're writing that as a mixed number, meaning we have wholes and we have fraction pieces, mixed numbers. Okay, how does that kind of look? I've drawn this picture so you can kind of picture how did we get that? We could see it in the number bond by pulling out a whole, but how can we see that in our picture? Well, there's a couple ways we could do it. We could say, all right, well, we want to make these complete wholes, right? So we could move this one over to here, and I could fill that in to make 1 whole. And what did we have left over? We had 2 of these 4ths left over. So we have 1 whole and 2/4. 1 whole and 2/4. So that's kind of the idea. So addition with fractions, you're keeping your denominators the same because their job is just to tell you how much is in the whole. You're adding the top numbers or how many pieces that you have together. If you have an improper fraction, you've got to pull a whole out and see what's left over to write this as a mixed number, 1 and 2/4. And we could see that in the picture. Now, in your assignment, you don't have to draw the picture, but I would love to see the number bond part. How did you pull this whole out from your improper fraction? Okay, so in your assignment, I'm going to be watching for how you did it. Make sure you're showing your work, and I will see you at our Zoom class if you have any questions. See you.